Let's go, baby.
Off the turn, they're 3 wide.
Battle for the lead as Hickok gets out of shape.
Bottom, shot, 3 wide.
He takes the lead back. Dynamite Racing.
It is day number 2 here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, part of the 51st running of the NAPA Spring Sizzler. And what a day it is. The sun is out, the temperatures are up, and it's going to be a full day of racing with late models, SK Modifieds, the SK Lights, and of course, the Open Modifieds. A lot of stories here yesterday at the track as we began to set the field for the starting lineup. Let's hear from some of those stories now and begin our coverage here in the pits with Bonza.
Kyle, Old Blue returns to Stafford for the 51st Spring Sizzler with a new driver behind the wheel, at least at this track, and that is Brian Narducci, who's making his second career Open Modified start at the half mile. Brian, you got the 40 laps in yesterday. It was a handful just visually watching. What was it like for you out there?
It was definitely slick. I think a lot of people were free. It seemed like everybody in front of me was pretty free, but they were able to just get off the corner a little bit better than we were. I think we'll be good today, making some changes now, so hopefully we get the car better and just get the back of the car into the track, because it just seems like we were lacking drive. So grateful for the opportunity, and I think we'll be good today.
What have you learned with these Open Modified cars in your limited experience with them?
It's about tires. You go hard for 20 laps. I know Todd said it before. You go hard for 20 laps, you just kill the tires. So it's all about just trying to conserve the right rear and right front, and managing it to the end or to the pit stop, and then see what you got from there.
That's Brian Narducci looking for a good run in Old Blue, which has won the Spring Sizzler 2 times before. Now we're going to go to a 3-time winner in the Open Modifieds last season, and he's standing by with Kyle.
Bonza, Woody Pickett has been on fire here the last couple of years, including 3 in a row last year in an Open Modified, former NAPA Spring Sizzler winner. Second last night in the duel. Was it as wild out there from the driver's seat as it was from the grandstands and the announcer's booth?
Yeah, I'm sure it probably was. It was getting a little bit frustrating there, on those restarts, just trying to keep your composure, every time. You kind of wanted to settle in, I know the pressure's on some of those guys in the back to get into the race, but it was a little tough, but I get it. It's been a whole year. Everybody's all gung-ho to go racing, and then you get 2 weeks off on top of that. Everybody's all riled up and ready to go. So, unfortunately, that's just how the night fell. The cards fell for the whole night, but we were good enough to stay up front and battle there for a while and put ourselves in a good position for today.
Starting toward the front of the field today, how do you feel about your car for 100 laps today? What we anticipate, hopefully under the sunshine.
Yeah, I think we're going to be good. This thing always is really good on the long run. It was good yesterday. I'm glad, how bad we finished last year at the end of the year with the crash. That the car's back to being how it was, so I'm looking forward to it. We were just talking strategy here a little bit, because some of these guys are just, we got a different motor package than a lot of these guys, so we're trying to just figure out something to hopefully, work in our advantage. But we have to see how the race plays out, and hopefully we'll be there at the end to challenge for the win.
Best of luck today.
Thank you, sir.
That's Woody Pickett, a former Spring Sizzler winner. Bonza's been able to catch up with another former Spring Sizzler victor.
Kyle, last year, Bobby Santos III had a lot of rough luck trying to compete in the duels and the LCQ. Didn't make the race. This year, different story, Bobby. You got into duels, but it wasn't easy. What'd you take away from last night? Because you said before we went live, it was a matter of survival.
Yeah, it was definitely a battle yesterday. Both those dual races were kind of a little more action than probably a lot of us wanted as far as saving our equipment for today. But, we learned a little bit with the car. We're working on it. We're getting better. And hopefully we can make the right adjustments for today to put us in position for a good finish tonight.
What more do you need out of the car after last night's races?
I think we just got to get it a little bit tighter to just last a little longer as the tires fall off, and just just be good towards the end, which, you know, I haven't been doing this stuff a lot, so I'm definitely a step behind everybody else on the field that we need, but we're working on it and trying to get it.
That's Bobby Santos III, looking to become the 4th driver in history to win 4 Spring Sizzlers. Now we move to the SK Modified pits. Marcello Refrano standing by with Kyle.
Bonzo, one of the young guns here in the SK Modified division, coming off his best season yet a year ago in Marcello Refrano to win 2nd in points. How about a championship this year? What's it going to take in this very stacked field again here in 2023?
No weddings, no wrecks, no DNFs. No, I'm kidding, but no, we just got to stay consistent. Obviously, Todd was never out of the top 10 at all last year. He wrecked when I didn't need him to wreck. No, we're just going to keep doing what we were doing last year. The points will take care of themselves. You know, we're just going to chase wins this year and let the points take care of themselves. You know, that I feel like the more I try to chase points, the more it takes me out of my own groove. So we're going to go do our own deal, and hopefully it turns out in our favor.
You mentioned weddings. For those that don't know, you missed an event last year because of a wedding and still finished 2nd in points. That's quite an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah, I won the night before, and I couldn't show up the next day because I had to go to a wedding. But yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I mean, family comes first too, you know. I mean, I missed plenty of weddings over the years, plenty of birthday parties, and plenty of other events, but that was when I had to be there. I was actually in the wedding, so I had no choice but to miss it. But yeah, I mean, we're just gonna try and limit the weddings this year and the birthday parties and whatnot. Hopefully they know my schedule by now, so yeah, just keep doing our own deal, and like I said, we'll let the points take care of themselves.
Best of luck here today.
Thank you.
That is Marcello Refrano looking for his first track championship here in the SK Modifieds. Bonds is with another driver looking for his first track title.
Kyle, Jonathan Pulio had some rough luck at the beginning of last year, but the Mr. Rooter 7 team really turned it around at the end of the season, including a win, and he's off to a pretty good start in the state this year. JP, what has changed from the first half of last year to where you are now to get these more consistent performances?
Just preparation and execution. You know, it's one big thing we talked about in the off season with my dad, and just executing on our opportunity and just preparing as best we can. You know, I mean, nobody works harder than my dad, so it's all him, and I'm just glad I can be the driver.
Now, you told me off camera that you've never finished an SK Sizzler race in your 2 attempts, so how can you as a driver try to control what you can do out there to finish the race and maybe get a top 10, top 5?
I mean, everybody speaks about patience, but it's all about your heat race. You know, you got to get off to a good start, and you got to just try to stay out of it. You know, and the last 2 years I haven't had very good heat races. It's been on me, so hoping we can get a good heat race, get a good starting spot, and hopefully our car's pretty good, stay up front, and try to do the best we can.
The heat race will be critical. We'll see what JP can do to start off the 2023 season. Now we go to the late models, where Kyle Rickey's with Daryl Keene.
The late models open their 2023 season here today at the Stafford Motor Speedway, and one of the favorites every time they hit the track is Daryl Keene. Picked up a win a year ago, 4th in points. How do you approach this new season after the success of last year?
I think we got to approach it the same way we tried to end last season. Just patience and try to put the car in the trailer in one piece and let the blocks lie as they fall. You know, it's just kind of be patient, not get into too many skirmishes, and see what the car gives us, and don't try to take too much.
It's a long season. How important is it to win early and kind of build that early season confidence before the summer stretch?
It's always important to win. Everyone wants to win every week. It's just a bonus, honestly. If you know, podiums are great. You know, you can't knock those either, but the wins build a lot of momentum really fast.
Late models go 30 laps later this afternoon. Daryl Keene trying to be the first in 2023 to go to victory lane here for this division. Now let's swing it over to the SK Light Pits, and Bonzo with another driver very hungry to get back to victory lane.
And Kyle, we got George Bissett Jr., the Mad Pup, who we talked to a couple weeks ago in open practice, but today we're talking about the SK Light Modified. Now last year you got 3 wins, which was more than the previous year with 2, but the DNFs were not in your favor. What can you do this year to try and tone down the DNFs?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I mean, just try to avoid everything as possible. You know, like, I mean, yesterday the duels are rougher than I thought they were going to be, and I missed every wreck but the one I was in. So you know, it's a part of racing, and you can't get bummed out about it. I mean, it's the beginning of the year. We have a lot of racing left to do, and we just got to keep our head up and move forward from here. But with this car, we'll be good. Just basically sticking to what we know, and we're just going to keep it that way this year, and we're going to keep our head up and fight.
George Bissett Jr. looking to get his first SKLA championship this year, but it all starts right here at the Spring Sizzler. It's time to go racing. Hope you enjoy the show. We're going to go on to the booth and have Kyle Rickey and Ben Dodge on the call.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the event that is billed as the greatest race in the history of spring. And let me tell you this, if you weren't here yesterday, shame on you, but if you came out today, you're in for an incredible treat. Because literally the paddock area here at the Speedway is bulging at the seams. There's a lot of changes that have taken place in the off-season here at the Speedway. Among the biggest changes, and we saw it come into full play last evening, is what they refer to as the safer barriers that are put through the turns here at the Speedway, and they literally are the same type of barriers that are used in Cups and Xfinity competitions. They actually they have a foam backing behind them, and they work. We saw cars that hit at a ton, as the old saying goes, but then all of a sudden they were able to pull away. There were several surprises in yesterday's event, and Kyle Rickey and myself, among the biggest surprises that we saw was the fact that in our open tour-type modified division, that John McKennedy would run out of gas while running in a qualified spot, actually running up front in the competition. But that is not going to deter him from moving into the big payday. Speaking of the big payday, Kyle, we want the fans to realize it is not too late to get into our lap sponsorship program. And we have about 14 laps remaining. And Kyle, let's tell them how they go about that.
You can purchase those laps on the midway at the novelty booth behind the grandstands coming off of turn number 4 and be a part of all the activity here today, and even get with your lap sponsorship, an autographed card of Matt Hirschman. Limited edition, just 100 cards produced, 100 cards signed, just exclusively for the folks that sponsor laps, so you can put your company name or a special message on a lap that you can purchase. Just a couple left, and they are available down at the novelty booth down on the midway. One of many things happening down behind the grandstands here this afternoon.
Among the biggest and perhaps one of the most popular situations that is occurring is the double hook patio, which is located directly coming off turn number 4. And from our vantage point here at Broadcast Central, we can see a bunch of folks enjoying adult beverages and looking directly over the racetrack itself. There's some great drink special available for you. Remember, make sure that you're responsible when drinking. And, of course, we invite you to check out that location. Turn 4, brand new grandstand. It's a high-rise in comparison to the old one that was once in that location. And then we've added some new grandstand area in the paddock area as well. If you look at our screen, center stage here in the infield, you can see the cars that are being prepared in preparation for this afternoon's event. But as we go back to yesterday afternoon, the story in the street stock division was the first feature event to be held in 2023 here at Stafford, and it was a brand new winner. Ryan Waterman, who's won at all the other Connecticut racetracks, finally added Stafford to his list of success. Travis Hydar would finish in second. Bert Ouellette for a new team. Car 51 would finish in the 3rd spot. Aaron Plemons would finish among the top 4 cars, and Walt Hovey had a great afternoon to finish among the top 5. Early leader in the competition, Chris Danielchuk would finish in the 6th spot. Ryan Prairie, a newcomer, would finish in the 7th position. Marvin Minkler was 8th, Rob Sears was 9th, and Jeff Haslund would round out the top 10. Kyle, we also saw some of the best racing action yesterday afternoon, and that was in our limited division, where Matt Clement snuck by Jeremy Lavoie, the multiple-time champion here at the Speedway. Lavoie had a problem getting to the racetrack. His truck broke down, and it was one of those days. He was forced to get a limited round of practice, got to the front, was leading a late event restart, gave Matt Clement the victory in the competition. But right now, we direct our attention off turn number 4 for the first qualifier of the afternoon. And here's Kyle Rickey with the starting lineup.
And we should mention the SK lights will roll out onto the Speedway. There are 4 heats, 42 cars on property, one of the largest fields that we have ever had in this division. Scheduled to lead the field to green, car 21 from Wolcott, Connecticut, the Classic Builders LLC entry for our pole sitter, Sammy Anderson.
Alongside will be the Webb Motorsports machine from Nashville, Tennessee, car number 92 for David Webb. Schedule to start to the inside of that row will be the number 58 machine. That, of course, is car number 58. We're checking on the driver of that car. Many of these cars coming in a little bit late here today as we move quickly to the number 46 car. Car number 46 will be our next starter on the field.
That'll be Norm Sears from Coventry, Connecticut, the Lincoln Tech sponsored entry. Schedule to start to the inside of the next row.
And then we go to car number 98. That was the Norm Sears entry from Coventry. And of course, outside will be the number 28 machine. That's Zach Askler out of Newtown, Connecticut, driving the Connecticut Bounce House Special, the David Webb-owned car.
Car 45 is from New Hartford, Connecticut, Lakeshore Benefit Group entry for Ed Chikoski inside row 4.
Then it's the Metro Garage Doors, number 87 for the veteran from East Hartford, Joey Farino.
Car 35 is next from Ashford, Connecticut, the Tolland County Foundation replacement entry for Josh Morrison.
And then we go to car number 78, picking up at the rear of the field. That is Eric Burgoyce out of East Hampton, former mini stock standout in the E&B exterminating car. So the field is set. They rumble off turn number 4, and with the snap of the wrist, we are racing. Sammy Anderson in the pink and black machine setting the pace. Meanwhile, already developing is a challenge to the inside, and Ethan DeRocher is making it look racy as he tries to make a bold move to the bottom.
Ethan DeRocher in the 58, David Webb in the 92 as they come back off of turn number 4 to the stripe, and it's DeRocher out front, car length in hand over Sammy Anderson as they cross the line. Here comes David Webb looking to the inside of Sammy for that second spot. Anderson gets kicked up to the outside lane.
While that's happening, here comes Brian Sullivan, the Monaco Ford machine, former champion with the car that goes and glows. It moves into the 3rd spot, but the Monaco Ford car isn't done yet. While all that has been happening, we look a little further back in the field. Sears is there, Anderson has dropped back to 5, and Chikoski is setting in the 6th spot.
And Chikoski now goes to the inside of Sammy to pick up that 5th spot. Now go to work on Norm Sears for 4th. At the front, no change. Ethan DeRocher at the point. Webb and Brian Sullivan in a good tussle for 2nd. And now Sears under fire by Chikoski for position number 4.
The key spot here is 5, and currently holding down that 5th position was Joey Farino just a minute ago, and suddenly all of that would change. Meanwhile, tucking to the inside, the 45 machine of Ed Chikoski. Chikoski moves from the high line to the inside. He's in the comfort zone, Kyle. He's moved into the 4th spot. Here comes Joey Farino with a bold move to the inside. Will he be able to pick up the spot as they come rumbling off turn 4?
Farino to the inside to challenge for that position. Battle up front for the lead. Here comes Sullivan to the inside of Ethan DeRocher to take the top spot off of turn number 2. New leader, Brian Sullivan, to the point into turn number 3.
He makes it look so easy. That's why he's a true champion here. And he's got a lot of laps and successes with 2 circuits to go in the competition here. Brian Sullivan is a fanatic. He knows what he wants. He's a perfectionist, and it shows. That car is immaculate from front bumper to rear bumper, and the Monaco Ford people are proud to sponsor it as the white flag is out. 1 lap to go.
Aspler goes around in turn number 4.
Spins around, it'll bring out the caution, and this could change the entire complexion of this event. If you've just joined us, I'm Ben Dodge along with Kyle Rickey, and welcome to the running of the NAPA Auto Parts Spring Sizzler, presented to you in part by the good folks at NAPA Auto Parts, where NAPA know-how is more than a phase and a phrase. It's a way of life. Check out the deals at your local NAPA Auto Parts stores. Well, as the caution flags from the starter's stand is yellow, race control checking on things, making sure lineup is correct, and they should line up as follows. We'll take a look at the replay now and see if we can pick up some of the action. going into the turn. Little contact perhaps, and once Askler got down into the bottom groove of the racetrack and off the edge of that, that's what kicked him up around. And you'll see it right there, and all of a sudden he spun around. No harm, no foul. He's just got to come back up. But the clock is ticking, as you see on our scoreboard, center stage. Field is being told to cross over. White and green flag in the air as the lights are on the wheel and safety vehicle. And good run for Ethan DeRocher with that number 58 car. Brian Sullivan, he is a pro. And the Competitive Edge Coatings people, coating company that literally does most of the coating, got most of the cars assembled here in the competition here at Stafford.
Brian Sullivan, the 2020 champion of this division.
You know, he decided to make the move up and then make the move back at one point.
Yep.
As, he really is an extremely talented individual. He is responsible and assists in the Chapman family in the running of their race cars, besides running his own. And he's an outstanding kart runner. And look at the nice run. He gets off turn number 4 as Sullivan leaves everybody in the wind. But look out, because second is a whole different game.
Ethan DeRocher has that spot. David Webb in second. Joey Farino right there in the 4th position, settling into line. Chikoski guarding the inside and quickly moving back up through the field. That's the 28 of Askler. Right now just outside of the front 5.
Askler isn't about to give up. He's tapping on the back bumper. Meanwhile, right there to his outside. Good run being held. Steve McKennedy is there. Here comes Askler, making a late event charge for it. Here comes Brian Sullivan. He'll take down the victory. Ethan DeRocher will finish in second. David Webb sneaks in for the 3rd spot. Ed Chikoski for 4th, and Joey Farino, the veteran, will finish in 5. Good run for Evan Burgoyce to finish in the 6th spot, 1 out. Zach Askler, good comeback for 7th. And then we have the remaining of the top 11 cars,
including Steve Kenaway in the 8th spot, Sammy Anderson backslid to 9th, Norm Sears in 10th, and Josh Morrison, who has had his hands full in a couple of the practice sessions. Another driver graduating from the Monday Night Wild Thing Kart Series. Just getting some seat time here and finishing in the 11th spot.
You know, you have to realize that these competitors did not get practice here yesterday. For them, this is their first day of actual competition. For many of these teams, and round number 2 comes rumbling onto the racetrack. These are the SK Lights in car number 84 for Brandon Hunt of East Windsor, Connecticut. The JR Recovery Troyerville car will start at the point.
Car number 1 is next from right here in Stafford. The Wicked Power Sports entry for one of the division veterans in Bob Charland.
Car number 76 is up next. It'll start to the inside of the 2nd row. The Bulls Motors Incorporated car from Ellington, Connecticut. Car 76 for the racing police officer, Ronnie Mitford Jr.
4th starter, it's the 09 from Westbrook, Connecticut. The Foxwoods Resort Casino sponsored entry for Cassandra Cole.
Car number 19 is up next, and that, of course, the HLC Excavation Spafco chassis car. The driver is Chris Vian.
Car number 44 goes to the outside of the 3rd row from Ellington, Connecticut. The Chapman Apartment Homes entry for Jason Chapman.
Keep your eyes on this young talented lady. She'll start back in the 7th spot, driving Rory West car. The McKinney Construction car from Colchester, Connecticut, Amanda West.
Car number 74 goes to the outside of that row as we see the Amanda West car on the screen right now with a left front tire down. So a tough break for Amanda as she's unable to even take the green here before finding issues. We'll continue with the lineup to the outside of that 4th row. Car 74 from Greenville, Massachusetts, the SK Property Maintenance car for Brandon Michael.
5 rows back to the inside, car number 55 from Somers, Connecticut, the Akari Motor Sales car, making his debut here at Stafford from Somers, Connecticut, Paul Akari.
Car number 51 goes to the outside of row number 5 from Norwich, Connecticut, the SAB Tree Experts entry for Matt Brewer. And then car number 6 is the final car on the field for Bob King behind the wheel of that entry.
So there you have it, our qualifying event. Heartbreaker for Amanda West, who is well, very, very talented and very strong. We've really seen her mature this last season. the McKinney Construction Group are among the sponsors, as they are heavily involved in her future. Rory, her dad, has restored an original car that was part of the RGM stables and a long time ago, and it's an amazing accomplishment when you see that car. We're set to go. If you're just coming in and joining us here, we thank you for coming out and being a part of the festivities. Remember, we use all of social media, so make sure that you just get out your phones and tweet, text, send a message, Facebook, invite everyone and anyone to join us. Plenty of tickets are still available, still plenty of time. You won't miss out on a moment of the action, and we'd love to see you here at Stafford. The Monaco Ford Safety Services crew are in the center of the infield. Here's Carl Rickey with the call.
Set to go here, heat race number 2 for the SK Light Modifieds off of turn number 4. Hunt on the front row with Charlene. Green is out, and we are off and rolling. As they go to turn 1, Brandon Hunt gets the jump on the inside, but Charlene has some speed. Top side has that momentum to the back straightaway.
Down the back straightaway, he's giving it his all, but Brandon Hunt has a little more giddy up getting into the turn. Charlene steps on the gas. He's not afraid of the outside here at Stafford. We've seen him run on many an occasion. Keep your eyes on Cassandra Cole, that neon green and white car. She is really putting things out front.
New look for Cassandra this year, that bright green and white car, 09, sponsored by Foxwoods. She unveiled that sponsorship a couple weeks ago, running well right now in the 3rd spot, just in front of Chapman in 4th. That is the red 44 of Jason Chapman. And Paul make that Chris Vians in the top 5 in car number 19.
Vians was so excited to be back in the competition here at Stafford. Meanwhile, back up front, Charlene's changing his line. He moves to the inside, a little bit of a stutter step there. Bob Charlene, the Wicked Power Sports. When you come to the center of Stafford, you'll see his business on the right-hand side just before the rotary. He says he's afraid of tornadoes, but right now he looks like a tornado at the front of the field because he's whirlwinding his way off turn number 4.
He leads back off the corner. Hunt has settled in the line in 2nd. Cassandra Cole in 3rd. Further back, Brandon Michael looking to make a move on Paul Akari for position number 5, and he will take that spot away. Battle for the lead, and now one car breaks loose off of turn 2 into the outside wall, and a second becomes collected. Caution is out.
Yes, it was a minor spin underneath the FloRacing sign.
Paul Akari in the 55.
Yes, and the other car that was involved is the 16, we believe. The 6
of Bob King.
Yes, of Bob King. And no damage done, no harm, no foul there as they get him fired back up and rejoined in the competition here as well. Paul Akari, a successful businessman. He's done every type of form of motorsports, from motorcycles to you name it. Collect special interest cars as well and so forth with it. And he said, I always wanted to do this, so now is the time to get the job done. He's a good friend of Bob Charlene, who is currently the leader of the pack. There's that X6 machine of Bob King that was involved kind of after the fact. Hey, if you're in the market for a new Ford truck or any Ford product or a new or used vehicle, there's 2 locations that can serve you better, and that is Monaco Ford, located in Glastonbury, Connecticut, and located in Niantic, Connecticut. Now, I've known the Monaco family for most of my life. They preach and mean what they say. If you're looking for a deal and you tell them that you heard about it here at Stafford Speedway, they will cut you the best deal on your next new or used vehicle at either one of their locations. And remember, all the official safety vehicles and the safety crew here at Stafford uses Ford products distributed by Monaco Ford.
Here they come. Off of turn number 4, pace car is in, set for the restart. Halfway home in this second qualifying event for the SK Light Modifieds. Down to the stripe, Bob Charlene gets the jump. Jason Chapman has a tough time coming up the speed. A little scattered further back, but the top 3 are able to get away cleanly. And it's Hunt in the outside lane with the advantage by a half a car length over Charlene, with Cassandra Cole having the best seat in the house there in 3rd.
Certainly does. Now, Charlene made the move to take the lead, but all of a sudden Brandon Hunt pulls it off. And now, moving into the fight is Jason Chapman. Red car on the outside of Cassandra Cole, white and green car to the inside. Foxwoods Casinos, place your bets now for position number 3. Here comes Charlene. He's not done yet. This guy is so competitive. at everything he does. Brandon Hunt continues to dominate the racing action. What a good run for him, Kyle, and he is starting to pull away.
Hunt out front by a couple of car lengths over Charland. Good battle for that runner-up spot to simmer down just a bit. Jason Chapman had a look to the inside of Charland for the runner-up position, has decided to fall in the line in third. Sandra Cole unchallenged in fourth as we're into the final lap.
5 is the magic number here. We've got a battle going on for that 5th spot between Paul Akari and Brandon Michael deep into turn number 3. Charland's got less than a turn to try to make the pass, but Brandon Hunt has the field covered. It is Brandon Hunt to take down the win, Bob Charland to finish in 2nd, Jason Chapman for 3rd, Cassandra Cole for 4th, and Paul Akari in his debut here at Stafford will finish in 5.
Brandon Michael ended up in position number 6. Then it was Bob King, Chris Vians, Matt Brewer, and unfortunately Amanda West unable to turn a lap because of that flat tire on the pace and parade lap, so hopefully she'll be back in time for the main event here later today.
That's a real tough break.
Probably a consolation race.
Yes, with the amount of cars that we have in this division, as we said before, a record-breaking crowd of SK Lights. The stepping stone here at Stafford has been amazing by the Arut family over the years because we have a natural, well, we'll call it a natural progression for open-wheeled cars. You start out with karts on a Monday night.
Yep.
You can work your way to the lights, to the SKs, to the Tour Type, to the Tour Modifieds. Round number 3 is up next, and car number 29, a former champion in his own right here at Stafford, the Vernon Chevrolet Tamitha Race Machine from Stafford Springs, Connecticut, Chris Matthews.
Outside of the front row, car number 10 from Seymour, Connecticut, the Anglaise Racing Enterprises car for Nick Anglaise.
Blue Moon Designs brings us a 00 for one of the veterans from Bristol, Connecticut. The driver is Todd Clark.
Outside of row 2, we heard from him during our pre-race show. Car number 39 from Danbury, Connecticut, the Lasco Roofing and Sheet Metal entry for George Bissett Jr.
Here's one of the guys in the paddock area to keep your eyes on. The Marquis Landscaping car from Tolland, Connecticut. The Sandhill Farms machine for Andy Marquis. Car number 5.
Car number 89 to the outside of the third row from Berlin, Connecticut. The Alkis Motorsports sponsored car for Tyler Alkis.
And then we go to car number 33. It is the driver of the 33 driving the Advanced Sewer and Drain sponsored car. It will be our own Haley DeSales.
Car number 88 will go to the outside of row number 4 from Wethersfield, Connecticut. The J.P. Poulin drywall entry scheduled to start in that spot is Frank Latwell Jr., but Frank had an issue in practice, and I do not see him out on the racetrack.
Heartbreaker. He was one of the quickest cars in practice before that took place. The Busy Bee Learning Center car is up next. Car number 16 from Chaplin, Connecticut for Nicholas Hovey.
Then it's car number 34 to the outside of that row from Oxford, Massachusetts. The Absolute Group of Companies entry for Dalton McCarthy.
So there you have it. Field is set. We're ready. Down the back straightaway. Take a look at the billboards here at Stafford. We couldn't do it without the continued support of these great companies. Remember, when purchasing or buying their products, remember to tell them that you heard about it here at the Stafford Motor Speedway. GAF among the sponsors here as well this season. We salute them and your local NAPA Auto Parts store.
Heat number 3 off of turn number 4 for the SK Light Modifieds. Down for the start. Nick Anglaise gets the jump in the outside lane in that white number 10, but here comes Matthews, all-time winningest driver in this division at the front of the field here on the backstretch.
And while that has been happening, George Bissett, the Mad Dog Pup, moves into second. He was pumped up yesterday, and what a great run he had going in the Tour Type Modifieds. He quickly moves into second. Trouble now, as we've got one car that got a little bit out of shape there for a while.
Andy Marquis in the 5.
Yep, gathered it back though. No harm, no foul. He's in the 5th spot, and that is where he needs to be. But we've only got one of these circuits in the record books. So they come back to the line. Here comes Bissett. He's starting to work over Matthews. Now Bissett has a completely different line. He'll try to back out of it, go into the turn a little softer, but watch turn number 3. That's the patented Keith Rocco move. Going. It is gone as he comes off turn number 4. George Bissett Jr., the Mad Dog Pup, is your brand new leader.
Dalton McCarthy spins off of turn 4, gathers it back in car number 34. He's okay as the race for the lead is up the back straightaway already, coming to halfway this time. 4 down, 4 to go. Bissett at the point. Matthews has his hands full now with Nick Anglaise in that 10 car.
Well, Nick Anglaise has been trying to get into contention there. Got off to a tough start on the initial start, but now he's got some momentum. He reels in on Matthews, sees the bottom. Remember, that's the same move that Bissett tried to do, but Matthews doesn't want any part of it. He shakes him off as they come off turn number 4, and Matthews moves back into second. 5 of the 8 circuits now completed into the record books. Leader is still Bissett. Battle is now for 5th, Kyle. Final transfer shot. Marquez has been there, but Tyler Alkes is right on his heels.
Alkes in position number 6, then a couple of car lengths back to Haley DeZonia, rounding out the front 7 here on the front stretch. Todd Clark also still on the racetrack, along with Dalton McCarthy, rounding out the field, albeit a half a lap down after that half spin a few laps ago.
Here they come off turn number 4. White flag is out. No surrendering at the point. Meanwhile, it is still a good battle between Nick and Glace. Look a little further back, that battle for the 5th and final transfer spot. It is crucial. Marquez has it, but right there with him is Tyler Alkes. Off turn number 4, here comes George Bissett. He has locked in.
Oh, and they get together. Alkes gets into Marquez. Marquez goes around. Haley DeZonia goes to the outside lane and goes around them both to finish in the 5th spot in car number 33.
Well, they say it's not over until you cross the stripe on the final lap, and Haley, hats off to her for avoiding a situation that was for the final transfer position. So here's how it looks. It is George Bissett taking down the victory. Chris Matthews, the all-time big winner, is second, the 29. Nick Anglace looks racy in third with the number 10. Nicholas Hovey, good run for him for 4th, and Haley pulled off the Timex timely move of the event to secure the final transfer spot. And then timing and scoring is showing. We don't know if there will be any penalties. Tyler Alkes, Dalton McCarthy, Todd Clark, and Andy Marquez.
Those are the 9 cars that finished heat race number 3 for the SK Light Modifieds, as we'll get a look at a video replay up on the big screen and see what exactly happened on that final lap with Alkes going to the inside of Marquez. Contact was made, and what a move by Haley DeZonia to the outside lane, getting around both of those cars as they went up the racetrack.
Well, that was a heartbreaker. Early in that qualifying event, Andy Marquez got out of shape, lost a lot of ground. Then he was able to pick it up and maintain that position. So I'm sure he's disappointed, but he will be back for our consolation events, no question about that. Car number 75 will be starting at the point, and that will be the Ferrara Land and Landscaping car of Windsor Locks, Connecticut, for Casey Voigt.
Reigning champion of this division goes to the outside of the front row, car number 18 from Griswold, Connecticut, the Pro Systems Integration entry for Tyler Berry.
Keep your eyes on this lady because she is a standout in this class, the Propane Plus machine. Ricky Fuller owns the car from Auburn, Massachusetts. It's the talented Megan Fuller in the deuce.
Car number 52 will start from the 4th spot from Waterbury, Connecticut, the Pettit Racing Engine sponsored car for Anthony Farino.
Another one of the Chapman Apartment Homes group, the My Three Sons Racing cars. This is 41 from Ellington, Connecticut for Tyler Chapman.
One of the true veterans of this division, car number 7 will start from the 6th spot from Salem, Connecticut, Darling Auto Parts, providing the sponsorship for Alexander Pearl.
And starting in position number 7, making his debut in the open wheel division, the Supreme Industries DP Motorsports car from Tolland, Connecticut, car 82 for Paul LaRue.
A starter, car number 70 from East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, the Mayberry Material Handling car for Wade Gagner.
And then moving into our final row, it is car number 42. That, of course, is Stephen Koglanis out of New Hartford, Connecticut, in the Joining Technology car.
Lined up and ready to go off of turn number 2 and up the back straightaway. 8 starters on the racetrack. Again, there were some incidents in practice earlier today that may have eliminated 1 or 2 contenders for these heat races as the field comes off of turn number 4. Casey Vogt to lead the field of 8 to the green flag for 8 laps with Tyler Berry to his outside.
Casey really came to life last season as he now is trying to hold on as they head off the second turn. 4 cars run up front, side by side, wheel to wheel. These are just the SK Lights. We used to refer to them as the junior stars. Oh, trouble now. 1 car dancing without a partner all over the racetrack.
That's Meg Fuller.
Yep, and that car suddenly got evil on her right in the center of the apex between turns 3 and 4. but she is not able to get it fired back up, and she will be stranded underneath the Twin Towers over there in turn 4 as Megan Fuller's car, we had a replay of that, all of a sudden it just snapped around on her, and it appears that now she cannot get it fired back up. The Monaco Ford Safety Services crew going to assist her. So Casey Voigt.
Oh, it looks like there might be fluid coming from that car.
It does look, yes.
Going to have bigger issues for Megan. Tough break for the driver of car number 2. A multi-time street stock winner here at the Speedway. 10 career wins. Of course, the daughter of Rick Fuller,
yes.
Modified, one of the best in modified racing.
And comes from the legendary Fuller racing family. I mean, they have all competed here over the years, including, of course, Jeff Fuller, who was always a standout in modified racing. In addition to that, Bob Fuller, which is the father of Robbie Fuller, who owns LFR and Troyer Race Cars as well. And, of course, there's a long history. Jimmy Fuller is one of the top wrenchmen in the paddock area as well. So there's a lot of history. We're going to take a look at this in 2 or 3 different angles. Now, watch the white 2 car to the inside. And all of a sudden, a weird situation there. And as she tries to correct it, it snaps around on her, almost as if perhaps something let go. Now, here's another look at it, Kyle. What do you see?
Yeah, it got away from her to the inside while battling for third. I'm trying to see what let go and where on that car, but it was
something,
instant.
Yeah, on the left rear, perhaps something went awry. Now, watch the left rear very closely, setting in the stands here. As you look at our big screen, our jumbo screen, she goes into the turn. It's okay there, and then it goes right, it goes left, and it goes around and comes to a screeching halt.
And getting a look at another look at it, we said fluid originally. That was not the case. No fluid on the racetrack. It was the left rear tire that went down on her car.
We were able to see it, the Propane Plus people. Good folks that have been involved in this sport for quite some time, and a heartbreaker for Megan Fuller. We are going to see some incredible competitions that look like a main event. Think of this. Megan Fuller is going to be in the Consi. Who else? Amanda West. Okay.
There's going to be several big guns.
Yes, they are. And they've got a long way to go because the price of a Supreme spot is going to be high. And the only way to get there is race and race hard. And that's what's going on as Kyle Rickey takes him down to turn 1.
Back to turn 1 we go with Casey Vogt to the inside lane. Tyler Berry to the outside. Tyler Chapman now to the inside of Berry. So it's the Tyler and Tyler race into turn number 2 for the runner-up spot, just in front of Jack Baldwin in car number 4. Here's Jack to the inside. Had a look at the bottom on the 18 of Berry. Couldn't make the pass and falls back in the line just in front of Alex Pearl in the 7.
Alex Pearl is a closer. He will take his time. He's in the 5th spot. He knows exactly where he wants to be. And yes, if you're wondering, Jack Baldwin is Tom Baldwin Jr.'s son. And he is no stranger to running a modified. He won a race at New Smyrna, competing in the SK Light type program at that facility. He's up to the 3rd position, and that's a Keith Rocco rental car. So he's doing a good job. Directly behind him is another great battle going on as the 75 of Voigt drops back, and Alexander Pearl is in the 5th spot. Paula Root is in position number 6.
They race up the back straightaway. Paul Root making his SK Light debut here this weekend after spending so many years in full fendered cars and limited late models, and right now just outside of the top 5 in position number 6 at car number 82. Just ahead of him, Pearl to the inside of Vogt for position number 4.
Look at Paula Root. He might need fenders last year, but he doesn't need them right now. He's going wheel to wheel, and he is in the final transfer spot. Good run for Paul Root in his debut. The Supreme Industries car looking supreme as he moves into position number 5. Single file is the story. Tyler Chapman, who was the fastest car in practice. It was Tyler Berry. He's in 2nd. White flag is out. 1 lap to go.
1 to go. Final triple round for Tyler Chapman, who leads the field back to turn number 1. A couple car lengths over Berry. Baldwin is in third. Bit of a gap back to Pearl in fourth. Then one car goes around. That's Casey Vogt off of turn number 2. Solo spin. Checkered is out, though, at the start-finish line.
As the checkered comes out, Tyler Chapman will take down the win. Tyler Berry will finish in second with car number 18. Jack Baldwin, the son of Tommy Baldwin Jr., will finish in the 4th spot. Alexander Pearl will finish in position number 4, and Paul LaRoute will take down the final transfer spot. Who won't make it? They'll find themselves a home in the consolation event.
Stephen Calagianis rounding out the top 6. Then Casey Vogt 7th, Meg Fuller, and Wade Gagner rounding out the 9-car field.
Well, if this was a regular Friday night program, and speaking of that, we're going to be back here for Friday night excitement, we would refer to the next group coming onto the racetrack as the fastest division of the night. And those, of course, are Stafford's own, the SK Modified division. And the competition has never been any finer as we go into the starting lineup and scheduled to start at the point in round number 1. From East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, the Kopech Auto and Truck Service car. It is owned by his dad, a former modified driver, Chris Kopech, but it's Dylan Kopech sitting behind the wheel.
Outside of the front row, car number 23 from Stafford, the preschool of the arts entry for Wesley Prucker.
Car number 33, you talk about consistent, hard-charging, good driver. He's driving a Keith Rocco rental race car from Walcott, Connecticut. He's a former champion in the lights, Michael Jervis Jr., car 33.
4-starter car 76 from Ellington, the Bowles Chrysler Dodge Jeep entry for Tom Bowles.
And next is the Hummel Brothers hot dog machine. John Hummel owns the race car from Farmington, Connecticut. Keep your eyes on this guy. He's got a ton of talent, Corey DiMatteo.
6-starter car number 88 from North Haven, Connecticut, the Wheelers Auto Service entry for Marcello Refrano.
Car number 22, different number, different combination. It is the Horsepower Hill Farms Dan Avery owned car. Michael O'Sullivan and his son prepared the automobile from Berlin, Connecticut, Keith Rocco.
8-starter car number 5 from Millis, Massachusetts. It's the RJ's Plumbing and Heating entry for RJ Marcotte.
The black and mysterious number 85, the TickMike.com machine. Petty Cash Motorsports from Howell, New Jersey. They call him Showtime, Jimmy Beluit.
And rounding out the field, car 45 from Orange, California, the Fleetworks Incorporated entry for Rick Gattro.
Pick up the volume because here they come, SK Modified style for round number 1. Evenly match the top 6 cars. All of a sudden, up the hill goes Michael Jervis, tries to keep it down low, but that was the Parker machine, we believe, that literally had a problem. But right now, here comes the gaggle of cars off turn number 4, and the guy that steps out of line is a number 11 car, and that is Corey DiMatteo.
Bull spins off of turn number 4, the 76. Solo spin, car comes to a rest in the grass. Here on the front straightaway as the leaders go back to turn number 3. Kopech at the point, caution at the line.
Brand new automobiles out of the Bowles stables. Interestingly enough, Tommy Bowles has been here and competed in all the divisions that have competed here at this particular racetrack, and he's had tremendous success in all of them. A successful businessman in Stafford and in Ellington, Connecticut, and he builds and fabricates his own car. His high school buddy, Ronnie Bamforth, is the crew chief on the race car itself, and that red, white, and blue combination has been their colors for as far back as I can remember. So keep your eyes on that. Brand new car. They didn't have much time on it at all, but hoping to shake it down and get it back up front. If you've just joined us, looking down at the double hook patio area, the patio is looking rather handsome in the sun here, and the line is short if you'd like a nice adult beverage. Let's take a look at the replay. Kyle, what do you got for us, buddy?
It looked like he was all by himself when I saw it live a couple laps ago off of turn 4, and that is indeed the case for Tom Bowles, who went spinning off the corner.
We have seen that happen yesterday, too, at that particular corner of the racetrack, that these competitors almost like they get on the gas a little too quick, and the RPMs are up, they spin the wheels, and they spin the car. So back up front, Dylan Kopech, a family guy now, and to the outside is Michael Jervis. Michael Jervis's uncle and his dad are big supporters of him. They have been around this racetrack for quite some time. You know, there's a lot of successful race teams, Kyle, that come from, well, the southern end of the state of Connecticut, the Newtown area. You've got teams like Copsic and Jervis and a lot of other groups that bellow. They all come from that particular area, and Jervis is one of them. We've got one car heading down on pit road. That's not a good sign.
Maybe Marcello Rufano in the 88 as we go back under the green flag without him. And that is indeed the case as they go back to turn number 1, outside lane jump. Jervis to the top side, Kopech back to the bottom in the red 16 for the lead.
5 cars contending up front. Leader of the pack still remains Dylan Kopech. Here comes the number 11, Corey DiMatteo. Puts the Hummel's hot dog to the inside of the racetrack. Going, gone. He'll take over the lead, and who's going to go with him to the inside, Kyle?
That's the 85 of Jimmy Blewett beginning to make his presence known at the front of the field. Keith Rocco in a new ride this year, that red number 22, currently in 4th as they cross the line. They are knotted up from the race lead on back, chasing Corey DiMatteo, car number 11.
When they made the announcement that Jimmy Blewett was coming from Wall Stadium to compete here at Stafford, everybody was excited because he is a thrill seeker. They call him Showtime, and he lives up to that name as well. Meanwhile, Dylan Kopech, sitting in that 3rd position, Keith Rocco, said, I just got to get used to this. It's a different combination than I'm used to, but it is a winning combination. And Michael Jervis setting back in that final transfer position of position number 5.
Off of turn 2 they go into the second half of this heat race for the SK Modifieds. It is Corey DiMatteo, Jimmy Blewett, Dylan Kopech, the first 3 cars on your screen, coming to 2 to run. Keith Rocco and Michael Jervis rounding out the top 5 as they have singled out at the front of the field. Does anybody, including Blewett, have anything left for Corey DiMatteo in that blue number 11?
Well, Corey DiMatteo was very confident with this race car earlier. Trouble now, another car slips up the hill coming off from turn number 4 as the white flag comes out. That's the number 45 car of Rich Gautreau with that machine that happened to be one of the quicker cars in practice here today. Back up front, less than a turn. First and second, nose to tail. It is Corey DiMatteo. Jimmy Blewett came from the back with the mysterious black and gold, number 85. Dylan Kopech, strong run for 3rd. Keith Rocco for 4th. And Michael Jervis for 5.
R.J. Marcotte crossing the line in 6. Wesley Prucker, Tom Bowles, and Rich Gautreau, the final 9 cars left running. Marcello Rufano, the big mystery there to what happened to car number 88. He's only completed a couple of laps and will finish 10th. A big thanks to everyone watching on our Facebook and YouTube live streams, getting a bit of a sneak peek at the start of all the racing activity here on this 51st NAPA Spring Sizzler Saturday. A lot of racing left. You can tune us in on FloRacing for the rest of the day if you are not here with us in the grandstands.
And in addition to that, don't be shy. You can sign up for Flo and watch it today. It's not